Hello everyone, I hope you all are fine. Look at this, a solid white sphere in the sky. But up to right now we just know that this is moon. Is just in my opinion, this is not enough for us to know only the name of this object which is moon, the solid sphere. We also must be know about the dark pages. You see the dark pages because they contain a billions of year history. Okay, so come here and today video we may discuss on these dark pages. To understand this, we have to go back in history, okay? Because moon is not just a solid sphere, white sphere in sky. They contain a billions of year history. So we start from ancient scientists and astronomers that they believe that the moon is like another world, like Earth, because they consider that the dark spots is just ocean and seas and the brighter areas is land. Now, the story begin here because actually there is no water on moon. So what are these dark spots? These spots history start from Lithian scientists and astronomers. They give them name Maria, which is a Lithian word used for seas. So when the moon was young, its surface was extremely hot. In fact, much of the moon may have been covered by a huge ocean of molten rocks. As the moon slowly cooled, it formed its early crust. But then something incredibly happened. A young moon was hit again and again by the enormous giant asteroids. And some of these impacts were so powerful that they created a gigantic hole and basins across the moons. Later, the huge amount of molten rock came up from the inside of moon and this lava filled many of these giant basins. And when the lava cooled, it became the dark volcanic rock called basalts. And that's what many of them created or dark spots on moon. That's what we see today. So these dark spots are not oceans. They are ancient lava plains. One of the most famous one is known as the Sea of Tranquility. It is roughly 800 kilometers wide and this place is incredibly important to human history. Why? Because in 1969 Apollo 11 mission landed there. This time in history, first human takes step in another world other than Earth. Think about that. The place ancient people might have imagined as a sea become a place where humans take first step in the history. But the Sea of Tranquility is not only the dark region on moon. There is also Sea of Ruins, which is one of the largest and dark area on the moon. And there is also Sea of Sirius, a huge circular basin that's easy to see through a telescope. And this is also a Sea of Singularity. And then something we have even more bigger, the Sea of Storm. Don't worry, there is no storm on moon. It is actually the largest lunar mare and has a very complicated volcanic history. But now, look closely at the brightest part of the moon, you will notice something else. Crater after crater after crater, like a bulletproof jacket of a soldier. And that's why the moon looks like so different from Earth. On Earth, rain, wind, ocean, plants, and geological activity constantly change the Earth's surface. They erase many old scars, but the moon has also no atmosphere, no rain, also there is no ocean. So that's why when asteroids hit the moon, they leave the impact up to billions of years. The moon is not just a solid sphere in the sky. This is a cosmic history book. If you try to understand this, you must try to understand the history of our solar system. Something in this crater is incredible. Take a look of Tycho crater. It is about 85 km wide and it's the easiest crater to see during the full moon because of its bright ray. But here we have one also crazy part. Tycho is 110 million years old. But this is considered to be a younger crater in cosmic history. Tycho is basically considered as a younger crater because if we compare with the another crater which is Copernicus. It's about 93 kilometer wide and it's estimated to be around 800 million year old. And then we have Plotinus, and this is the creator which is almost 4 billion year old. Just imagine that. When Plotinus created, the moon looked very different from the moon we see right now. Here is something really interesting. One lunar crater is named after a famous Arab astronomer and mathematician, Al-Bakani. It is about 131 km wide. The moon is actually covered with the name connected to the scientists and astronomers from many different civilizations. And there are the many more incredible creators. The Archimedes, there is Plato, there is Aristotle, there is Aegeus, and there is also Theophilus, which is a huge central peak. This peak was not just ordinary peak. It's formed when a ground bounces upward during a huge impact. But there is a big question. How scientists know that these creators is that much year old? Like someone say this is 8 billion year right, or another say yeah, this is right. No, actually during Apollo 11 mission, scientists collect some rocks and other ingredients from the moon, and after that, scientists use things like crater counting, geological evidence, and the ages of lunar rocks collected during Apollo 11 mission. That's how the estimated age of a different lunar features. Now here is something even more surprising. If I told you we have been looking at the moon for thousands of years, but we have mostly been looking at only one side. That's because the moon is tightly locked with Earth. It rotates about the same rate that it orbits Earth, so the same side usually faces. But there is something about it you should know. Most of the people, the other side of moon, they called it the dark side of moon. It's totally wrong because it's not permanently dark. Moon doesn't have the factors like Earth. There is no rain, no ocean, almost no atmosphere, and no forest. The moon's surface changes slowly as compared to the Earth. Tiny impacts slowly break down of rock into soil can make it lengthy, much more lengthy as compared to Earth. I think every dark spot, every bright ray is telling us a story. The story is about giant impact. The story is about ancient volcanoes. The story is about the violence of early solar system. For next time when you look into the moon, so don't see just a bright circle in the sky. Look at these dark spots. Look at Tycho. Look at Copernicus. Look at the ancient highland. Because you are not looking the Mars and moon. You are looking the billions of years of history. And remember, moon just contain the billions of years of history, and we are only the beginning to understand the story. So for next time, one thing I want to mention here, what if human colonize moon in future, which part would be perfect for your home?